Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the West Ham Network. This is your David Moyes press conference ahead of the game, where West Ham travel to the Emirates to take on Arsenal tomorrow. And are you buzzing about it? Who knows? But there is some team news and some of the press conference we need to get through today. So without further ado, I'll get started on the press conference. Now, before I do, I just want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. I hope you all had a great time and are staying safe, of course, and get your preparations in for New Year. But I'll get straight into it. And Moyes was asked about the time off over Christmas and did the players take any of the time off? And he said, yes, my Christmas was very good, thank you. We were able to have Christmas Day off, so it was very good. I think the programme works out for different teams, so ours just worked out that we could have Christmas Day off, which was lovely. Now, it's very rare that you ever do hear a footballing team being able to have Christmas Day off, but our routine and our fixture list has been quite congested, so it's quite good that you can get a bit of payback to the players. And you know what? I know they're all paid a lot of money, and I get that, but you need to give something back. And if you give something back, then you will, in return, possibly receive something off the pitch. So if you give the players the time to go and spend some time with their friends and families, then hopefully you can get that repaid back on the football park. Now, before I move on, let me just mention Hammer's headlines, of course, in association with KUMB.com. Make sure you do go across there and check out their content, our good friends of the channel. Now, the next question was regarding some team news, and he was asked about, is there any updates on any team news from West Ham? And he went on to say the following. He said that Mickey Antonio isn't ready yet, and I'll need to see how naive Agard is, but I think that's it for the moment. Now, the situation is that we do know that Mickey Antonio is running on the grass, but he hasn't probably featured alongside the players yet in actual football matches or games, etc., and training. And we also know that Agard and Cornet have picked up the sickness bugs or the illness bugs. We believe that Agard has got a bit of the flu, so he'll be floored. I think that by that mindset that he probably, and I would expect him not to play or feature tomorrow. There could be an element of smoke and mirrors, but I don't think Agard will feature tomorrow anyway. But this could be also our last game with Mohamed Kudus as he heads away for the AFCON, the African Cup of Nations, which is going to be massively disappointing for West Ham because we know how important a player he is. But that is the update on some of the team news. The next question he was asked was about Arteta and what did he think about Arteta at Arsenal. So he went on and he said the following. I've been so impressed with Mikel Arteta since he went into Arsenal. He won the FA Cup and the Community Shield, and there were some down comments, but he hasn't half proved them wrong. I think most Arsenal supporters were very happy with Mikel. Mikel is always someone who had a deeper thought, was always thinking about football and always looking to prepare himself well. I think he comes from a really good background in terms of the clubs he's been at, and then he's worked under Pep Guardiola, one of, or if not the best manager in the world. He's dealt with becoming a manager of the club the size of Arsenal really, really well. Now, what do you think from the comments that he says there about Mikel Antonio? I think there's an element of respect, and I think that's fine to a certain extent. But for me personally, and I know David Moyes is not going to say this, but Arteta's a very frustrating manager to watch. The way he acts on the sidelines, a petulant teenager sometimes comes to mind. And in actual fact, I think he gets away with a lot of the stuff that he gives out to the match officials from the sidelines. He oversteps the mark. He always oversteps the little box that they're supposed to be in. And I do think petulant teenager is the thing that comes to mind when you think of someone like Mikel and Arteta. But listen, at the end of the day, he was doubted heavily by a lot of Arsenal fans, and sometimes, randomly enough, he sometimes still is by some of the Arsenal fans as well. Of course, they've got and have brought in Declan Rice to the club, which has gone on to continued to be the same player he is. He just seems to be getting more plaudits now because he plays at Arsenal. So, of course, it's the Declan Rice derby, you could call it. But whether or not him and Arteta met earlier than what they should have, no one will ever know. Maybe someone does know, but maybe no one wants to get that information out there. But yeah, being respectful as much as you can to the opposition manager, with all due respect. Then he went on to talk about Arsenal themselves. So Moyes had this to say on Arsenal. He said, Arsenal will be a huge challenge. They have always been a really hard team to beat. We had a good result at home against them in the Cup, but this is a different competition. I'm sure Arsenal will be a full-strength team, and going to the Emirates Stadium is never easy either. And it's not. and it's absolutely not. But what we can't afford to do, Mr. David Moyes, is the low block. The low block the whole game, because this is the sort of team that like that. They want to come at a team relentlessly at them. And I think there's only so much of the low block that we can do. The difference between a team like Arsenal and Tottenham is Arsenal do okay in the final third, while Tottenham necessarily don't. So if we try and do the low block against Arsenal, I think that could be problematic. And I think that, yeah, okay, I understand we're not going to go relentlessly at them. I'd like to see us go at them a little bit more, press them high up, which is what we did in the League Cup. And let's not forget that at some point in the game, they nearly had their full strength team out on the park, and West Ham still took the game to Arsenal. So we're capable of doing it on our day. It's just a case of what West Ham turns up. And that's honestly how I judge these games. You always hear teams say it, but it's so true. West Ham hold the keys to whatever they're going to turn up to that day. We have it in our own hands. It's in our own fate. Fate's our own, and we can change that if we really, really want to. But we'll have to wait and see what team news and what formation David Moyes does go out with. The last question he was asked was about progress at the club and how does he think West Ham have progressed since this season in particular. He says, we're really pleased with the progress we've made. We've got 30 points in the league, which is a really good total for us at this time of year. We want to keep it going, and we think we can get better and do even more. Now, listen, he's not the only one that thinks that. I do think we can get better as well. What we need to do is shut up shop at the back. It's as simple as that. Defensively, we are not great, but we need to eradicate that. We're coming up against a team that like to attack and do it from a high press. I think if we counter that and go for a high press, we need to watch the counter. We need to keep to bed Declan Rice in the middle of the park, because we all know what he can do, which I can't believe I'm still saying to this day, but it's true. He's gone, and that's exactly what it is. Players are going to be so important. Like Alvarez, we know Souček is going to play, so it's going to be a big battle in the middle of the park. And Declan Rice, listen, he knows what it's all about. He knows what West Ham's all about. The only one he doesn't know anything about is Alvarez, and Alvarez is going to be like a pit bull terrier nipping away at his legs. I fully expect Alvarez to walk away with a yellow card in this game. So, like I said, it's all about what West Ham turn up, what efficient mindset we're going to be in for this game. So we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, it was a short and sweet one. Of course, there's an embargoed section that can be spoken about a bit later on when the embargo section time limit comes out, and then we can discuss that a little bit further. Hope you've enjoyed some of the content Russ has been putting out over the last couple of days. I hope you enjoyed the content we gave to you on Christmas Day. What a fantastic video we put together for you there. This, of course, is in association with our good friends over at Knees Up Mother Brown. So please make sure you go across and check them out, because they are very, very, very good friends of the channel. And we like to give them as much support as we possibly can. So, like I said, thank you very much for watching. This is your West Ham Network. Make sure you go and check out Knees Up Mother Brown. Take it easy. And, of course, come on, you irons.